Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the north. More specifically, we are here in Dearborn, Michigan. And even more specifically than that, we are at the Henry Ford, also known as the Henry Ford Museum. Now, on this trip to the Midwest, I visited some of the greatest museums in the country. The Milwaukee Public Museum, the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago, the Field Museum in Chicago. I thought that it would not be fair to leave out another one of the greatest museums in this country, the Henry Ford. Now, this is actually founded by Henry Ford himself. He was a collector of many things, many historical items. There is actually a separate part to this, not open today, called the Greenfield Village, where he actually collects historic buildings. But inside the museum, there are the smaller items, smaller than buildings, on display. Of course, it's Henry Ford, who was the first to mass-produce automobiles. You know, that's what they call the cars. The Ford cars are named after him. So there's a lot of focus on vehicles, but it's not exclusively vehicles. There's lots and lots of interesting stuff in there. So please follow me. It's a little bit rainy today here on the streets of the D. And I am now a proud member of the Henry Ford. I got the annual member pass here. To get in was, I think it was like $35. The annual pass was $75. So, you know, if you go more than once, you're just about there. It's also, I added the $100 to... I got upgraded to a $100 pass, which you get free rides at the Greenfield Village. So we'll see. I think I should be able to make it out here at least once or twice before next December. One of the real reasons I wanted to get the member pass is they have a special event at Greenfield Village for both Halloween and Christmas that I really wanted to check out, but it's really hard to get tickets. So if you're gonna get the annual pass, I think you get priority on getting those tickets. So we'll try when the spooky season comes around. We'll try to see if we can get out here to Greenfield Village this year. And speaking of Greenfield Village, of course, it's not open today, but you have the Greenfield Village Press Pennies, and of course, 2024, just a few days left of 2024, which is the year of the press penny. So we're gonna have to load up today on press pennies. These are all, like, yeah, you can ride the original Model T at Greenfield Village, the Model AA bus, the quadricycle. I don't know if I got a chance to ride on that quadricycle. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the old rides are really fun. Let's get all 4 of these made. There we go, 4 more for the collection. And the Henry Ford does have one of the best selections of Moldoramas of any museum. We got Santa Claus here, he's a holiday mold. Over here, we got Henry Ford himself. And I think I have all the ones that they currently have. So I think we'll still grab one before we go. I've made a new rule that if they have Moldoramas at a museum or zoo, even if I have all the molds, I'm gonna grab one just for the experience. As we enter here, you can see they still have the giant Henry Ford Christmas tree up in the hall here. And this museum kind of has an open floor plan, so you kind of gotta know where you're going. Yeah, this is really cool. Here in front of the tree, you can see Thomas Edison's signature there. The Henry Ford, when he opened the museum, Thomas Edison was here. They put the shovel in the ground to start the museum. And I guess they left it in the ground, in the cement. Thomas Edison etched his name in the cement, and here it stands today. That's pretty amazing right there. Thomas Edison's signature, a great way to start off your trip. We start out here with the invention that truly funded the building of this museum, the Model T. This is actually called the exploded Model T, but not exploded in a way that it is obliterated, but exploded in a way where you can see every part of the Model T pulled apart, get a good look at the engine, all the other things occurring in the Model T. Now, one interesting fact is these original seats for the first line of Model Ts that went out, they packed those with Spanish moss, and they were full of little bugs, chiggers, that that bite people. So that was actually the very first recall ever was on those seats. And it was not the automobile itself that Henry Ford invented. It was the manufacturing process to mass produce these. You can see over our heads these car parts on the conveyor belt. I don't know what part of the car that actually is. If anyone knows what part of the car that is, leave a comment in the comment section. And here they talk about that mass production process, that assembly line process. As some of the implements here, the time clock, the workers would punch in these different types of punch clocks, and some items used by the workers in the factory, the thermos, the hard hat there. It said that the factories would actually have their own baseball teams. Oh, these are union badges. Yeah, the union has a long history here in the Detroit area. Another Mold-A-Rama. I think that's one thing I love about this museum is the whole place smells like Mold-A-Rama. Here we have, you can actually get the Model T printed out here on this Mold-A-Rama machine. And there is a brand shiny new Model T. Over here we have different items that were either invented or improved between the 1850s and 1900s here in America. See the bicycle there. Of course, later they would come to the understanding that best to make the wheels the same size. This talks about how they changed the way they advertised in the 1850s to the 1900s, and yeah, I guess this is when the age of mass advertising that I guess we are still in was created. You can see the catalog there, selling different pipes and fishing hooks. These nursing bottles, very different than the bottles we use today. The little tube coming out of the top, the babies suckle on. And of course, all the weird medicine that they claimed did all sorts of fantastic things. Need to get ourselves a little bit of kidney wart. So yeah, Henry Ford himself, part of this movement to mass produce items, which definitely changed how our society works, definitely is still a major factor today in how we make things, how we buy things, how we mass produce things, how we don't really reuse things. Things are cheaper to produce than they are to fix. These are all machines meant to mass produce different items. These are all watchmaking machines here. Look at all the different watch parts. Oh, and there's the finished products. See the collection of telephones here. Oh yeah, all these interesting telephones for all throughout the years. Yeah, look at that there. I don't know what, it's like got a little card coming out of it. I don't know what exactly that is. It's called a card dialer. So maybe you put the card in to dial the number. That's kind of a novelty. Oh, you have the car phone there. And and the smartphone, which, yeah, crazy to see that in a museum. And the phone that I used in my home growing up looked like that one right there, the big white with the big long twirly cord that you get all tangled up. I think we should bring back the phones you had to mount on the wall, these giant wooden phones here. Oh yeah, some of the early cell phones there, like the 1980s cell phones. They were huge and barely worked. This exhibit is called With Liberty and Justice for All. The Declaration of Independence. No, this is not the original version that was signed by the Founding Fathers, but this is, apparently they made 200 copies, direct copies, when the Declaration was signed. And this is one of those 200 copies. So this is very, very few of the copies still exist to this day. Now, my personal favorite signer of the Declaration of Independence is one Button Gwinnett, the man named Button. Of course, Gwinnett, Georgia, named after Button Gwinnett, as he was the president of Georgia, president of the state of Georgia. Now, an interesting fact about Button is he is the most obscure person to sign the Declaration of Independence. Now, apparently, collectors, wealthy collectors, like to try to get their own version of the Declaration of Independence, to find actual signatures from all these men to create a collection of Declaration of Independence signers. However, Button Gwinnett, the most difficult signature to find, because he didn't do all that much, and there's not a lot of examples of his signature. So that actually makes Button Gwinnett's signature the most valuable autograph in the entire world. Now, I have been to the cemetery in Savannah, Georgia, where Button Gwinnett is buried. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an individual marker. He's just somewhere in the cemetery. He's actually killed in a duel. Says the signers were 56 remarkable men. They have information here on 10 of them. And no, I do not see Button listed amongst these men. Here's some centennial souvenirs. The bookmark there, the replica, the book, the paperweight of the Liberty Bell, and then this little outfit. This is from the bicentennial. A little kid's outfit could dress up like a Revolutionary soldier. Oh, and there's a scrimshawed whale tooth. And this is one of those artifacts here at the Henry Ford that is just absolutely insane to look at with my own eyes. This is a rocking chair from Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. And a man sat in this chair while another man shot him in the back of the head. Yes, this is the chair that Abraham Lincoln was sitting in when he was shot. Now, he didn't die in the chair because they didn't move him across the street to a separate location where he passed away. But Lincoln would have been watching it play, having a good time, and then John Wilkes Booth would have come up behind him and shot him while he was in this chair. Just an absolute insane piece of American history there. Now, I don't want to get too graphic. They don't say whether or not. I notice there's stains up here at the top. Some more stains down here as well. I don't know if those are blood stains or just could be like water damage stains over the year. But I don't know. That's right back in the back of the head. But yeah, just think about it. Abraham Lincoln himself sat here in this very chair when his life was ended. One of the most significant moments in American history took place in this chair. Of course, things aren't always hunky-dory in America. Sometimes bad things happen and they need to be changed. Here is the civil rights section of the Henry Ford Museum. Boo! This guy here. This is what I consider to be one of the just the absolute worst villains in American history. These just terrible, terrible men who use fear and hatred. Sadly, we still have some of them around today, but yeah, it's very upsetting, you know, hate and the awful things it does. You know, we still have problems with this today. You know, hopefully we get our fingers crossed that, you know, compassion, care for one another can silence evil voices like this. see here, we have the segregated drinking fountains. That one is labeled colored. And then over here, we have the segregated drinking fountain from 1954. And man, that sign on there is colored. And this is, you think about 1954, that is way less than 100 years ago. There's people today that were alive when this sort of thing was normal. There's the whites only drinking fountain. Just think about how awful this is. Just to be treated like that, to act like we could not drink from the same water fountain. Just horrible, horrible. It's good that we've come such a long way from that, but man, to think that sort of hatred lies in the hearts of people, and people were okay with it, and people thought it was okay. That is disconcerting. There's the colored waiting room and the white waiting room here. You can see the white waiting room, and that is the segregated waiting room. Notice it's much crappier than the white waiting room. Not only, were things separate, but they were very much not equal at all. And another exhibit that just absolutely blows your mind. This is the Rosa Parks bus. This is the public transit bus in Montgomery, Alabama, where Rosa Parks boarded, sat near the front, and was told because she was black that she would have to give up her seat to a white passenger, and she refused, leading to her arrest. And of course, this moment in time was a major piece of the civil rights movement, kind of helped kickstart the civil rights movement, kickstarted the bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, and really helped the civil rights movement move forward and make things a little bit better. And we can actually board the bus here. Here's where the racist bus driver would have sat. And then over here, this seat right here is where Rosa Parks would have sat. You can sit here in Rosa Parks' seat. You actually listen to playing audio of an interview of Rosa Parks describing the situation. Just the impact of having this here is amazing. And just I think it is really impactful to have the bus open, have you be able to sit in the same seat that Rosa Parks sat in. That is something else. So the docent was saying part of the reason that sitting in the back of the bus was such a bummer was because it was super loud. It was smoggy, the smoke from the bus. It was smelly. The engine made it super hot, and it was so noisy you couldn't have conversations. And the connection to Detroit is that apparently Rosa Parks, after the boycott, she still got harassed a lot in Montgomery. There was, just a lot of turmoil still. So she actually moved to Detroit, Michigan. She lived until the early 2000s, and she actually saw the bus transported to this museum, which is pretty amazing. She lived to be into her 90s, and just think about that. They were playing the interview with Rosa Parks, and she basically described how the guy was yelling at her, the guy was a bully, and she didn't sink to his level. She didn't start yelling back. She didn't act violent. This non-violent protest was highly successful in getting things done, and it's kind of beautiful in that way. Like, you don't fight hatred with hate. You fight hatred with love and dignity. And she didn't shoot anyone. She didn't destroy anything. She just stood by her principles, refused to let a bully push her around, and she made a world of change. And here is another pressed penny machine, and they got some great pennies here. You can get Rosa Parks bus, you can get the Abraham Lincoln death chair, you get the Kennedy death car. We'll go see that in a little bit, and this train here. So yeah, we'll get all four of these. And there we have it, a fistful of historically significant pennies. at the Moldorama here has the Christmas tree. Now, when it is not the Christmas season, this is actually a mold of the Rosa Parks bus. Now, there is a long line over here to get into the special exhibit, which is an exhibit on hockey. And this exhibit's going away next month, so I guess people coming here, catching it before it leaves. So I guess we will join them in line, and we will learn a little bit about hockey, hopefully. You see the Zamboni here, the machine that keeps the ice all nice and slick for hockey playing. All right, and we are headed in to the hockey exhibit. Different historic items from hockey, such as these antique ice skates. Look at these skates here, actually made from a bone. Bone skates. Talks about how Canada is the birthplace of hockey, and here we have a 19th century female hockey players. This is like the female hockey uniform there. Hopefully there's something under that skirt, because that seems like that would be really cold. Some handmade hockey sticks. None of these are made out of bone, though. There's the old historic pucks. That's it. Originally, I guess they adapted hockey from other sports, so they actually used a lacrosse ball. Seems like that'd be hard to keep track of on the ice. There's a wooden hockey puck. These are the hockey pucks from the 1800s, made by slicing. So they actually sliced the lacrosse ball to make the puck. Then here is a 1900s rubber puck. Kind of looks like a moon pie. And then, oh my gosh, some of the first pucks were made out of frozen cow dung. Can you imagine? You hit that too hard, it explodes, and you just get dung all over everyone. Yeah, apparently lacrosse did play a big part in the creation of hockey. Talks about hockey being a game of balance. It says try to balance yourself on this disc. Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Oh dear, I'm in a bad place. Oh. Whoa. And I haven't even let go of the hand, really. Okay, I'm gonna try this. Try this again. I'm gonna balance here. And, oh dear. I may not be the most balanced person out there. There we go. Balance, 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 balance. So what was that? 2 seconds? On this hockey rink here, we see modern players over on this side taking on these old-timey players. And look at that. That is a real horror mask right there. So the different blades for ice skates for different sports. Apparently the speed skaters use one type of blade, goalies use their own specific blade, and figure skaters use a different blade here. I can see the figure skating blades. This exhibit shows how stretchy the hockey sticks are nowadays. I guess we push these pedals to move the blades. Oh yeah, look how stretchy that one is. Oh, what's this? Get our stick here. I think we just gotta try to get it in the goal. There we go. Whoever said hockey was hard. Well, I'm not entirely sure this is hockey. Here are the jerseys and equipment of different famous hockey players. And I apologize, I do not follow professional hockey. I do not know who a single one of these people are. But I'm sure they're excellent out on the ice. These are different goalie masks used by different famous hockey players. I definitely prefer the old school horror movie style of hockey mask. This is Jim Rutherford's, but Terry Sawchek, he has the most terrifying mask of them all. And hockey itself is very popular here in the greater Detroit area. The Red Wings are their team. And here is a penalty box. This is the penalty box, also known as the sin bin. All right, let's go sit in the penalty box here. Interesting, the whole concept of the penalty box. I guess this closes here, literally like sitting in a little telephone booth. I think hockey's the only sport where your on-court crimes are punished by a short stint in jail that happens within the course of the game. Oh, and this is exciting. They're giving tours in the Dymaxion house. The first time I came here, you could actually just walk through it. But then over the past couple years, every time I've come, it's been just closed off. And but it looks like today they're actually giving guided tours through the Dymaxion house. Definitely gonna have to take a trip through there. So the Dymaxion house here, created in 1929, is an efficient piece of housing, kind of a early prefabricated house that could be delivered anywhere. Now, it was made by a man named Buckminster Fuller, and he was actually probably most famous for creating the geodesic dome, and actually created the geodesic dome at Epcot at Disney World. And this house here, this is actually a prototype. It was, apparently there was 2 prototypes made, and then they were Frankenstein together to be able to have this here, the only Dymaxion house in existence. But it was actually kind of had its own legacy and own aura behind it, because apparently George Jetson's house was actually based on the Dymaxion house. It's pretty crazy. Let's get on a tour. All right, getting ready to head into the Dymaxion house here.
Couple quick things while we're waiting.
It's a closet here. Oh, it's like on a track. It's the bedroom in here. I don't know if that's a lot of privacy with all these windows.
And
Bathroom in here.
Right here.
Oh,
they were
very
built
efficient.
Into the wall. And guess what, everybody?
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Towels are on a rotating shelves.
I don't know.
Apparently, you can actually rearrange the rooms
this
and make
was
different
a big
sizes.
advertising deal. And control the lights with this one switch. It wasn't a dimmer switch. It had cool lighting and warm lighting. And neutral lighting is kind of like your task lighting. You don't have to go to Home Depot and figure out what kind of light bulbs you need.
Got this room kind of cut open so you can see the interior of the house.
Okay, so this is not a traditional foundation in this house. The foundation is the mast. And even the mast has a double purpose. It's got your heating, your plumbing, and your electrical, and the pipes. And the pipes and the mast are all supported with tension rods. As one of my coworkers says, it's like a suspension bridge more than a brick and mortar house. Little openings between every roof panel, just enough for water to get in, no twigs or leaves. Because the gutter is right here, it's this black piece.
Oh wow, the gutter's inside
and
the
water
house.
would come in through the roof, go through the gutter between the roof and the ceiling, go through pipes like the ones in the kitchen, and empty out into tanks under the building. It's like our rain barrels today. You got water for grass or washing your car. You just roll up these beautiful naugahyde shades, and you slide open wall panels, and you've got a screen here. Although I wouldn't trust my cat or a toddler or critters outside, but hey, he thought of a screen. So what can I tell you?
To the kitchen here.
Actually, it's the drawers. And again, yeah.
Okay, so the drawers are refrigerated.
It was designed after a ship's galley, but it's all contained in the pod. That's what I love about these 2 rooms.
You peek into the dining room and living room here. Wow. I could definitely see myself living in one of these. Unfortunately, this is the only one in the world. One of my favorite vehicles here at the Henry Ford Museum, the original 1950s Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. This apparently is the first Wienermobile that was made, and they started actually touring the streets of Chicago promoting hot dogs, but they still exist today. The hot dog, the Wienermobiles look quite different today. Not too different. It's still the basic idea, but more futuristic looking. Never been inside one of these. I guess that's one of my goals, is to actually get a chance to ride inside the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. So if Oscar Mayer's listening, please let me ride inside of a Wienermobile someday. But yeah, what an amazing piece of Americana here. And back here behind the Wiener, we have Yeah, there's a little toy Wienermobile, the exact same model. And as they traveled with the Wienermobile, they would hand out prizes to people. The Wiener whistle, one of the most noted of the prizes. There's the Wiener watch. And there's a photo of the original driver of the Wienermobile, little Oscar, who was a little person that dressed as a chef and traveled the country in the Wienermobile. He was quite the celebrity in his time. And I did say that I wanted to get one of the Mold-A-Ramas here, and I think this is probably one of my favorite Mold-A-Ramas, the 1952 Wienermobile. Let's get it cranked up. There we go. Let's get our freshly molded wiener. Oh no, my wiener got stuck. Oh, there we go. There it is in all its glory. The Wienermobile. And the Wienermobile Mold-A-Rama is not enough. We also need a Wienermobile pressed penny. So I think we have run the full gambit of Wienermobile souvenirs. There's just so much in this museum. You see all the tractors over here. We have a dollhouse collection over here. Here's a bunch of stoves. And this is really cool. This is a World Fair artifact. It's from the 1964 World's Fair. This was from the IBM Pavilion. Oh yeah, IBM all the way back in 1964. That would have been fascinating. A couple more Mold-A-Ramas over here. Got a 1965 Mustang, and then the head of Abraham Lincoln. This exhibit's a little dark because there's no lighting on the inside of the exhibit, which is ironic because it's an exhibit on light bulbs. See a bust of Thomas Edison there, who was Henry Ford's mentor and hero. And you can even see right here the ultimate Edison museum piece. That is Edison's last breath. It says when Thomas Edison was dying, one of his sons captured his final breath in the test tube there, and he knew that Henry Ford was such a super fan of Thomas Edison that he sent him the final breath. You see the Wright Flyer here. Of course, this is a replica of the plane used in the first manned flight. But in warmer weather, you can actually come here and see the Wright brothers' actual bicycle shop, which was brought here and put in the Greenfield Village. Definitely want to get back to the Greenfield Village before too long. Here is the Fokker. This is the first airplane to ever fly over the North Pole. You can see them celebrating here as they land on the North Pole. Oh yeah, look at that map. That map of the North Pole there. And here we have some Jennies. So after World War I, these surplus planes were sold off, and they were purchased by traveling entertainers who would do acrobatics in the air. You can see the upside down wing walking here. They would stand on top of the plane while it turned upside down. That seems really dangerous. Hopefully she had her feet secured in some way. But yeah, this was, I guess, known as barnstorming, where they would, popular at state fairs, where they'd come and do tricks in their planes. Because that Jenny there is actually painted to be like a giant fish. See these spectators here as they enjoy the crazed air show here.
For the first time ever, you've seen the...
Another impressive piece of their collection here is the collection of presidential limos. Here is Ronald Reagan's limo here. And here is Kennedy's car. And yes, it is that car. It is the car that John F. Kennedy was riding in when he was shot and assassinated. And you notice it does look a little different. And that's because they added a roof onto the car. I guess it was too late, too little too late, but they did add a roof. But yeah, they added a roof because they continued to use this as the presidential car. And that fact, it blows my mind still to this day. Every time I come out here and see this, you know, not only is it just unbelievable to be this close to where that terrifying, horrific event took place, but just the fact that this car was used on future presidents. So it was used until 1977. So this was used by Lyndon Johnson, used by Gerald Ford, and Jimmy Carter after President Kennedy had been assassinated. Why they didn't retire it, you know, it literally is a crime scene in and of itself. Why they didn't retire that, why they didn't put it in a museum right away, that just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. But that aside, that, you know, to think right there is where John F. Kennedy sat during the incident blows my mind. So they have Lincoln's death chair where he was shot. They have JFK's car where he was shot. It just, those two things and under the same roof here is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And if you want to take home your own Kennedy death car, they have a Moldorama for that. One of the saddest Moldoramas ever made. And here is Dwight Eisenhower's bubble top Lincoln. One interesting fact, I used to collect 35 millimeter slides. I just buy big lots of them and go through them. And I actually found a photograph of Dwight Eisenhower riding in this car. This is FDR's limo, known as the Sunshine Special. And of course we had presidents before we had cars, so this is the horse-drawn carriage of Teddy Roosevelt. So they had some really cool presidential vehicles in here. God, Teddy Roosevelt, one of the most interesting men to ever live, rode in the back of there. And this massive train here is the Allegheny locomotive, a massive coal-powered train. We got this on one of our press pennies earlier. It looks like we could take a peek inside the Allegheny. Now peek in there. All the different dials and knobs that go into making a train work. This here is the coal chamber. They keep all that coal. And they'd have to shovel all the coal into this hole here. The coal hole, if you will. There's more trains back here. What I find interesting is this Canadian Pacific snowplow. So this, I guess, would be on the front of the train. Yeah, you see the engine is right there. The snowplow is actually placed before the engine. And man, that looks like it could get through some serious snow. Talks about automobile travel here. Oh, it's like different activities like camping. There's an old car festival here at Greenfield Village. There is for historical Williamsburg. I've never been there. That's one I may have to hit up. Of course, there's oh, look at this, Mall of America, featuring Knott's Camp Snoopy. That's pretty cool. It says Disneyland here. Although it says right there, it says Disneyland, the world's first theme park. I have to say that is demonstrably false. Disneyland was not the first theme park by any means whatsoever. I love this old Holiday Inn sign. Of course, Holiday Inn, kind of the first real motel chain, where basically the idea was no matter where you traveled across the country, you knew what you were getting, because all the Holiday Inns were pretty uniform, and they created these massive neon signs to attract people from the highways. A little Holiday Inn sign there. Some of the wrapped soaps, the hotel room soaps, the little soaps you get in hotel rooms. And Holiday Inn, the Holiday Inn sewing kit there. This was a sanitary strip. You sometimes find those over toilets, showing that they're clean. Oh yeah, just talks about chain hotels and the hotel keys there, the modern keys, and hotel pens, which, believe it or not, I have a huge collection of. This is a 1965 Holiday Inn room. You can peek in here. Oh yeah, look at that shag carpet, these wonderful green blankets there. Get a nice restful sleep while you're on your road trip. Another peek over here, the bathroom there. See the Holiday Inn towels hanging up. Oh my, what a time to be alive. And here is an old vacation cabin you might stay in. A little efficiency cabin. If you didn't want to stay in a cabin, if you didn't want to stay in a Holiday Inn, you could always stay in your RV, or campers, as they were known back then. A wonderful Airstream there. And, the pop-up. Some simple little pop-up tent that you drag behind in a car. Talks about the interstates and how that affected vacation travel, road trip traveling. There's an old toll booth right there. Oh, look at this one here. Look at that car. This is a 1903 Packard Model F. And of course, this is the Henry Ford Museum, so we are going to get into automobiles. Over here we have some family cars, some vans, and other things where you could put a large family inside of. And this is the Cornell Liberty safety car, designed to be the safest car ever. Has an extra large windshield so you can see more. But look inside the car. It's like almost like made of Nerf inside. Like everything is padded. The seats are super padded. See, the dashboard actually comes down around your waist to secure you in like a roller coaster. And then that is all padded. This is interesting. The back seat, they have nets behind the back seats to catch your head in case of whiplash. It actually looks pretty cozy with all those like padded seats in there. So this was made in 1957 when safety wasn't even a concern at the time. So this is one of the first cars to even try to be safe. And so some of the ideas stuck around, some of them not so much. Here's some different car seats over the years. This one like hangs off the back. This one has like suspenders that strap around the baby. It talks about here about how cars, they did not have laws for using child seats until 1985, which means I was born in 1980, so I definitely remember riding in the car without a car seat. I would actually beg my grandma to let me sit on the armrest next to her in the car. And look at this massive McDonald's sign here. Over 160 million sold. I actually can remember back when they kept tally on the signs. Then literally America ate too many burgers to even keep track of. Oh, and this is a sign for Howard Johnson. And they do have an operational diner car that they serve lunch in here at the Henry Ford. I think we missed out. I think they are closed for the day, but we can take a peek inside. Oh yeah, I definitely gotta. I forgot this existed. I definitely need, next time I come to the Henry Ford, need to eat in here. Here we see some of the early cars. This is the Ford Quadricycle here. Actually got a pressed penny up front with that on it. Yeah, you can see when cars first became cars, when they first invented, they kind of just looked like horse carriages with engines in them. We see over here when cars start to get a little bit of style about them. This is a Chevrolet hardtop here with the pink color. This is a Corvair. I have an interesting story about a Corvair if you've been following the channel for a very long time. Yeah, you're just going to see the evolution of cars. Does it not seem like the cars got to a point where they were really, really cool looking and then started to just like look less cool? started maybe a design downgrade. This is a 2010 Edson 2. This is a car that could deliver more than 100 miles per gallon. Give me one of those. There's a 2016 General Motors self-driving car. See all the different cameras and sensors. I don't know what I feel about a self-driving car. In some ways that seems like a dream come true. I could just sleep in the backseat. I don't know if you're allowed to sleep in the backseat, but if a car was truly self-driving, man, I would love that. I could sit in the passenger seat and edit videos, do research, while the car just takes me where I need to go. And once again, we have merely scratched the surface here with all the exhibits they have. It's kind of this big, it's kind of like one big room is the Henry Ford with all these different exhibits. Saw some of them today, but feels like there's always more to see by the time I have to leave. And I believe it is time to exit through the gift shop. There are some shirts with the museum. That's actually the museum there on front or the back. And lots of Ford merch, of course, you know, because it's the Henry Ford. You can get yourself a Model T pencil sharpener. Oh my goodness. If you break it, you buy it. Oh, look at these little Model T snow globes. Rosebud. I do kind of like this poster here. All the different exhibits, the Rosa Parks bus there, the Wiener Mobile, Dymaxion House. There's Thomas Edison's last breath there. Oh, this is really cool. The Fokker. Exploding chairs, confusing chairs, so much to see. Oh, these retro shirts are super cool. You got the hoodie with the Dymaxion house on it. And these shirts are interesting. It says excavated extraterrestrial. I think they do have some of the excavated ET cartridges. I guess we didn't see them today. And on the back they have that really cool design. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think I like this design the best, but it's on the back of the shirt, which always drives me crazy. I like the designs to be on the front, so I think I'm gonna get this one. And if I wore this type of hat, I would definitely get a Dymaxion hat. Oh dear, it is very, very soggy out here. Yeah, very rainy day here in Dearborn, Michigan. So, I've got the annual pass. So, I've made it an obligation that I have to return at some point in the next 365 days. I definitely want to check out Greenfield Village again. I'm going to see if I can do the Halloween or Christmas events at Greenfield Village. That looks like a lot of fun. And you know, there's always new exhibits coming here. I'm going to check out the new exhibit coming this year or this next year. I'm not sure what it is yet. And like I said, I feel like I just scratched. I feel like I always run out of time here at the Henry Ford. It feels like there was so much more I wanted to show you guys today that I just didn't get around to. But I wanted to show you some of the top artifacts there. Some of those really cool things. And there's just so much here. Just think about what we saw: the Rosa Parks bus, the Kennedy death car, the Lincoln assassination chair, Thomas Edison's last breath, just so many amazing things. The Dymaxion house, which I was really excited to get inside. I didn't know they did tours anymore. It's been shut down, I want to say, since COVID, I think. I mean, not that it's been shut down this whole time, but every time I've been here since COVID, it's been closed. And even last year when I came here, it was closed, but today they were giving tours, which I thought was super cool. Maybe it's like busy days they'll open it up and give tours, but very excited that I got inside. Learned a little bit about hockey as well with the special exhibit. I'm always willing to check out a special exhibit, even if it's maybe not something I am normally interested in, but expand my horizons a bit. But it's been a wonderful tour of the Midwest, some of these greatest Midwest museums. I don't know if I'm missing any, but we did the Milwaukee Public Museum, the two amazing museums in Chicago, and now the Henry Ford over here in the Detroit area. So I think it was a pretty wonderful holiday museum roundup that I really, really enjoyed. I love a good museum, a good classic. I love small roadside museums. That's one of my true passions, but I really love just having a day at a big giant museum with lots of cool stuff to see. I just can't say no. And it's usually in the colder weather. I try to check out more museums when less things are open up outside. But thank you guys so much for coming along with me. If you do like these videos, consider subscribing. I travel around the country. I film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun random stuff. If you'd like to help out the channel, consider contributing to Patreon. $3 or more gets you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling enamel pins, pressed pennies, motel key fobs, stickers in the Etsy shop, and also doing personalized messages on Cameo if you're interested in that. All those things help keep this Allegheny steam engine on the track, this boat on the water, and this Flying Jenny in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.